How have we allowed for 13,000 nuclear bombs to be created? Wait till you find out how many there were during the Cold War lol. Once it was created, it was pretty much assured that this would happen. Let's say we ban them. And then some country X starts making them in secret. Country X now has an armament of nuclear warheads and there's nothing to stop them from using them. I.e., there's no mutually assured destruction to deter them. You can't outright ban them. Because that requires everyone to follow the ban. Which they won't. Even if the technology hadn't been shared. Once the idea is no and has been proven to work, other countries would begin developing their own. Only 13,000. At one point, the 80s IRRC, there were more than 50,000. So I would say that's an improvement. The cat is out of the bag, and realistically we can never get rid of them unless a more powerful weapon exists. Having multiple countries that have them is the deterrent to using them. Everyone also knows what will happen if they are used, and that too is a deterrent. This also isn't anything new, as a nuclear standoff was the Cold War. It is a bit scary. But you'll learn to ignore it like we did during the Cold War. I was pretty young during that. But I definitely remember nuclear bomb drills. Just hide under your desk. That save you. Lol. And everyone saying the world was going to end. Fear. Struggling to find purpose because of current event? How about this? Do whatever it is you are going to do anyway. If some catastrophic event prevents you from doing that along the way, deal with it then. There's absolutely no point in halting your life because of a bunch of random factors that are never guaranteed to happen, that are outside of your control anyway. I'm not religious, but I like the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If they were banned, who would enforce it? Those of us not in control of nuclear weapons? The genie is out of the bottle. Any moves towards denuclearization by major powers should be viewed with the utmost cynicism. Because that's how all geopolitics should be viewed. No nation that currently has nuclear weapons will ever completely disarm themselves because they can't even fully trust their allies, let alone their rivals. The number of total nukes may decrease over time, but research will continue to hone their destructive force even further. Any number beyond 100 being used would mean mass extinction, an end to the world as we know it, and at least 99% of humanity. The only thing we can do is delay. Hope we live out our natural lives. And hope humanity escapes from this rock in order to escape itself. Go to antique stores and find a vintage school desk. You'll be fine. As the Cyberdyne Systems T800, Model 101 once said of humans, it's in your nature to destroy yourselves. They want us to think it's their selfish desire to own all the nukes. Truth is, they're our last defense for Cthulhu's inevitable return. On the other hand, nukes are the only reason we never had a WW2-like war again. It could be argued that MAD is a good thing and that nukes saved more lives than they took. As soon as the first nuclear weapon was created, it instantly became safer for a country to own one than not. MAD is better than the alternative. If Russia and America each had one nuke, then they might be tempted to use them. Not on each other because of anti-air, but on someone. Same if it were 10. The proliferation of arms means that neither side can set any nuke if, because the consequences would be that they were leveled. The fact that there are 1,000 SB that will never be used is better than have a handful that would be used. Things feel rough now, but it's nothing compared to the height of the Cold War. And even then, when the orders were given, someone in the chain of command refused and no nuke was fired. Used to be a lot more than that. Having nukes pretty much means no one will ever declare war on you. No one ever talks of the hundreds of nuclear tests, how many people got cancer from them even now. How there is barely no steel on the planet that isn't irradiated. How one Trident submarine could destroy all of the world's major cities by itself. USA has 14 of them. The UK 4. They are in our oceans right now. A lot of the land-based ICBMs would be stopped mid-flight. Same as bombers, they would do well to make it to their target. But submarines, there is no stopping them. The worst part is how we've assured that any small-scale attack will inevitably lead into all-out war. This has been proved false. You've heard about what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. And there hasn't been nuclear war. And there's a lot of small-scale attacks between India, Pakistan, and China, all nuclear powers. The Soviet Union even collapsed and they were handled safely. Just look at all the small-scale attacks and conflicts that happened in the Cold War. None of them ended humanity. Mutually assured destruction has been a very successful doctrine. You can let the thought ruin your life, or you can accept that it isn't going to happen and move on. Okay, so say they were banned in every country. You know there would be countries like Russia who would still produce them, and the only deterrent to nukes is the threat of nukes in retaliation. Look up how many nuclear bombs are not accounted for. I think it's like 6 or 7. Now that's crazy AF. There are nuclear weapons that were made and no one knows where they're. During the Cold War, the USSR had more than 45K and the USA had over 32K. That we know of. It's not like they asked permission to build those. Bad after this BS behavior from Russia, I think some former USSR countries will build their own. Because they will never feel secure with an unstable Russia as neighbor. Unpopular opinion. The nuclear bomb has made the world a more peaceful place. You need to learn to stop worrying and love the bomb. It's a strange love.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.